welcome to Patristic Nectar Kids. I'm Kriya Destiny of Ascetic Life of Motherhood. I'm an Orthodox Christian married to an Orthodox priest, and together we have 4 children whom we're raising. And we like to talk about here how we bring the life in the church into our homes in an intentional way. Now today we're going to be talking about Saint Marina, and we're making some dragon noodles. And I'll explain a little bit what that connection is soon. But more than that, my hope today is to introduce you to what it means to live liturgically. How do we orient our life around Christ in the church calendar? And why do we do this? Why would we spend all this extra effort to bring that into our homes? So I hope you'll stay tuned. Now, living liturgically, that can sound a little bit intimidating to somebody who's new to that terminology. So let me break it down for you. Really what we're talking about is orienting our lives, our days around Christ, his saints, the feast days that the church has prescribed for us, and really making Christ the center of our lives. And there's many ways that we can do this. And so again, I hope to break that down for you to give you a glimpse of what that looks like. But the most important part of our life in Christ is being rooted in the church. And so in as far as we bring that life in the church into our homes, we are creating for ourselves a little church in our home. So first and foremost, I would say the most important way we live liturgically is by participating in the divine services, going to church, quite simply, through the prayers, through the hymns, through participating in the sacraments. This is where we live liturgically, first and foremost. If you're already used to doing that, you're already living liturgically. Well done. Now, if you're new to paying attention to the liturgical calendar in the Orthodox Church, I want to give you a way to start. Okay, is first participating in the services as much as you can. That's number 1. 2, focus on the 12 great feasts. Okay, so the church in her wisdom has given us the 12 great feasts and said these are really important. Pay attention. Okay, so whenever one of the 12 great feasts is happening, make sure you make it to church. That's an important day to go. Okay, and so if you can rearrange your schedule, do that. And once you get to the 12 great feasts, you'll see the icon at the church. You can observe the icon, you venerate the icon. Why don't you take that one step further and learn more about what this feast day is about? Read about it, hear the troparions, sing it together. This is how we begin to build our knowledge of the feast days and live liturgically. So start with the 12 great feasts. Now, once you've done that, you've got your 12 great feasts down, you've added them all to your calendar, you know when those are going to be happening. Now, I would say you can start adding some saints, maybe your patron saint. Maybe you're going to standardize how we celebrate our name days. That's what we call the feast day of our patron saint is referred to as our name day. Okay, so we're going to have a way of celebrating name days. We in our family have a name day coming up this week. My daughter is St. Elizabeth, the new martyr, which is going to be tomorrow. And so we kind of have a standard way of doing that. We sing God grant you many years to her. We have a special plate that says God grant you many years. In our family, we do donuts. It's very simple. We learned it from my daughter's godparents. She would take her godkids out for donuts on their feast day. And I thought that just was so simple and so fun. So we do donuts on feast days, okay? I should say name days, okay? So embracing your patron saints. Now, once you've gotten that, okay, now let's look at some of the more prominently known saints, more widely celebrated saints. Some big ones you might have heard of are St. Nicholas in December, okay? St. Nicholas Day has a lot of fun traditions. St. Honorius is also a very well-known. He's known to be the patron saint of lost things. And when you lose something, you bake a cake. There's a fun tradition for it. And on his feast day, you can bake a cake for all the things that you lost that you forgot to make a cake for, okay? So that could be another simple one in August, okay? So there's a lot of different saints, and that's something that I share a lot about on this channel is the different saints and different feast days. And there's some that are traditions that are celebrated more widely, and some that are just our family that we've created and that we're doing together. So again, there's no right way to do it, but there's going to be some saints that we can do. So attending the liturgy, celebrating the 12 great feasts, celebrating your patron saints, and some of the major saints. I received a question very recently that said, how do you have all this energy and time to be devoted to celebrating all these feast days? And so I want to answer that in two parts, okay? For me personally, I'm a convert to Orthodox Christianity, and I did not really lean into traditions and feast days until I had kids. And for me personally, when I had children, I saw it as an opportunity to learn right alongside them. I don't know much about the 12 great feasts. I don't know much about these traditions, but it opened up this whole new world for me to learn right alongside my kids. And so that's where I really grew an interest in feast days, because it's not something I had growing up, and I'm trying to establish that in my home as a mother and trying to guide my children. Your home is going to be completely different than my home, and your family culture is going to be different than my family culture. How one family celebrates a feast could be totally different from another. And that's the beauty of it. Each of our homes is a little church. We're creating our own little communities here. And so I like to give ideas of how you could do this, but there's really no wrong or right way we're going to do this, okay? So again, I hope to break this down for you. Not every saint that I share about, for example, is going to be important to you or to your local community. And so again, when we live liturgically, we'll start to learn more about these saints and about these feast days, and maybe we'll pick up some traditions along the way. Maybe we're going to be creating our own traditions along the way. And so not every saint is somebody that you're going to say, hey, I want to pause and really honor this saint. Or maybe you don't know them yet and you're getting to know them. And so the beauty of the liturgical year is, hey, next year you might learn to love them. So my example for you today is Saint Marina. We didn't know much about her over the last couple of years. I have a number of friends who are named after Saint Marina. And this year, I had a dear friend who went to her church in Greece and brought back some holy oil. And so I have been wanting so badly to embrace Saint Marina. And so this recently really gave me the push to say, you know what, let's do something for Saint Marina. And what we came up with was so simple. We have to eat dinner anyway, so we made a special meal. Okay, so that could be an example of how this develops over time. We're not going to catch every saint day. We're not going to catch every feast day, but these are going to be maybe traditions that you're building together as a family that are going to become special for you. When we talk about living liturgically, doing these feast day activities, I want you to bear all of those things in mind. There's going to be seasons where all you can do is get to church. And to know that that is perfectly fine and good. And that's what I think you should do. And then there's going to be other seasons where you might have capacity to bake a cake. God bless you. I think that would be wonderful. And if you can't, that's perfectly fine too. There's nothing about this that should make you feel guilty or that you're less than or you're not keeping up. Okay, so just try to focus here on your household and your family. What is our family culture? Are we doing daily prayers together as a family? Are we reading the scriptures? Are we reading the lives of the saints? These are all things that we could be doing throughout the year that don't require anything special. It's about faithfulness and about being attentive to the spiritual life. And when you have extra capacity, thank God, and you can do these fun things with your children. But I do recognize that it does take a lot of extra effort. Personally, I like to join forces with other moms who also have an interest in living liturgically. And so that's something that we've been bringing to our parish, doing these activities together with our children so that we're not doing it just in our own efforts. We're really combining forces. So again, there's really no right way to do it. I just want to encourage you to just get started. Go to church. Pay attention to the liturgical calendar. and jump in. Don't be intimidated. There really is no prerequisite here. You can learn right alongside everybody else. That's how we all learn. Now, that was a lot of information, so take a moment to process some of that. Again, I hope to just encourage you that living liturgically is not complicated. It's rooting our life in Christ in as much as we can. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a moment, please consider subscribing to our channel so we can bring you more feast day content like this. Bye.